That is
Oh, really?
what color shirt are you
It's my
wearing?
white shirt. White.
Interesting.
I guess it's kind of green screeny over here.
Yeah, maybe
I've only had that happen with logos.
huh. I
Interesting.
don't know why white would do that,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's kind of cool though.
it is kind of
I think I
cool.
might make it my new thing.
Anyways, yeah, hello, men and gentle ladies. We're back again for another episode of Live SEO Support, where Nick and I answer any of your SEO related questions live on air from our mobile studios in the US of A. Uh,
Whoa, high tech.
yeah, very high tech. Yeah, so if you
Yeah,
haven't been here
like, comment,
before,
subscribe.
welcome. Yeah, also like, comment, subscribe. You'll hear us say that about a million times, and it gets funnier every time.
The other
So,
YouTubers do it, and we need likes and comments just like anybody else, and
very true.
subscriptions, of course.
Very true. Yeah, so if it's your first time, you can just drop questions in the live feed wherever you're watching, and we'll eventually get to them. If you have a specific question about your site that you don't want shown publicly, you can go ahead and send us a PM. And let us know you send us a PM too in the public comments, just so we kind of know what's going on. But yeah, we'll
Chris,
get to all the questions.
you wanna
What's
start
that?
off with a little story like we used to do? You want to go ahead and tell us a little story?
Um, I don't know what I would tell you the story about. Did you have something in mind?
No, you just used to put me on the spot like that, and I thought it'd be fun to reverse it a little bit, see if you had something.
Story. No, no stories today. No, we're getting
Okay, well,
down to
we got a lot of
business,
questions, so yeah,
down to
we'll
brass
get down.
tacks. Do you have a story? Did you want to tell a story?
Not really, no. Um, Trading a lot of NFTs right now, so
I know that's right. You talk about
I
it a
know
lot.
I'm obsessed. It's really bad. I shouldn't have gotten involved in this.
Well, hopefully you make about $1 million.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and some of this question. Should we start with let's start on Facebook, or you start with the backlog?
Now let's go ahead and let's go with Bernard's question. I like that one. It's solid, and I think we can tie in the other question he asked too about DR. Um, but I think that's a solid. Yeah, we haven't gotten something like this, and it allows us to go pretty in depth.
All right.
Um,
Can you demonstrate how you find keywords to rank in the affiliate marketing niche? Um, that's a big question.
yeah.
So before we go on, I'm gonna go ahead and find the Facebook video that I made previously about finding low competition stuff. But Nick, go ahead and take it from here while I
Yeah,
kind of.
and I mean, we've got multiple videos, right? We've got a keyword research video on how to find keywords using keywords everywhere and Mozbar, going through the SERPs by hand. And then we've got another one on how to bring that down even further by using Google search operators site colon. Um, so those two videos would be your best friend in aspects to getting started in this. And I know another part of your question was, specifically using Ahrefs. However, Ahrefs is something we use more of we get a general idea on the niche from, but we're not going to be able to do very targeted hardline keyword research just using Ahrefs. If you think you can go in and just do it based on their KD, it's going to be very hit, mostly miss, in my opinion. What you want to do is you want to find general keywords that have traffic um, going to them in Ahrefs and then break that down even further. And so we'll take this from the perspective of having a new site, right, versus a high-end authority site where rankability is a little bit easier. But from a very new site, what you want to be able to do is find keywords that have easy access to them. And that's obvious, right? Less competition, going to be easier to get to. But sometimes people start off going after something, with a certain amount of keyword or a certain amount of search traffic that shows low KD in something like Ahrefs, but their KD metric is based on countless sites. Sometimes it's more like you as a newer site, you're not going to be able to access those keywords, right? And so we want to break things down using those two, or the lessons taught in those two videos. And that'll give you a better edge with a newer site on going after traffic terms that are very accessible. They go after less traffic, but in turn, that's going to slow roll your site to being a more authoritative site that's going to be able to access more SERPs, if that makes sense. Now, there are a few other tricks that we've got up our sleeve, including manually combing specific SERPs to get even more data than we show in those two videos. But overall, if you really good starting point. Chris, do you want to do a
So,
little? Yeah, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, one great way, and probably my favorite way of finding keywords for something is finding a website that's already found a bunch of keywords
Yeah.
and taking them from there. Exporting the Excel file from Ahrefs. You just go into Ahrefs, look up their organic keywords. You can go URL by URL if you want to, or just look at them overall, see what they're ranking for. Or you could even, find, 10 sites like that in the niche, export them all, and it's already got estimated search volumes and everything right there for you on Ahrefs. Um, Hopefully I don't really need to go too much more in depth than that. But uh, so yeah, finding like that, finding people that have basically already done the work for you, and then going after them that way is pretty much works with anything in SEO, right? Google, people, you're usually not the first one to the party. You want to base your kind of what you're going after on some kind of data. So, in most
I
cases, you can
think
you can find other sites that have already done a lot of the work for you and go from there. What are you about to say?
I think it was Picasso that said, "Good artists create and great artists steal." My
Is that what you
high school
said?
photographer. Well, I remember Mr. Emery in high school, a photography teacher, used to say that a lot, and it always kind of stuck with me. I don't know if it's true. I haven't looked it up.
But yeah, so that's just for finding keywords in general, right? And the other method would be to literally you go onto Google, and there's two plugins that we really like to use when we're doing this. I have this article here. It's also got a video down at the bottom. Um, yeah, there's the video down at the bottom. So you can find it on our YouTube as well as our website. But yeah, so when we're kind of doing this other way of finding keywords, there's two plugins that we like to get. The first one is called Keywords Everywhere. It's a Google Chrome browser extension. It's free. Actually, it's paid now, sorry.
Yeah,
But
it's might
it's,
as well be free though.
yeah, it's like super
Like it's
duper
so
cheap.
cheap.
Like you
Mhm.
probably pay like $5, $10 a year for it or something for more than you can possibly use it. Um, so yeah, it's a browser extension. And then the second thing we use is Mozbar. You can also use Ahrefs bar, which for some reason I've just never taken the time to actually
Yeah,
install it. I mean, we definitely
creatures
should
of
at least
habit.
try it out. We much prefer Ahrefs than Moz.
Yeah,
I think Moz just did it first, and so we just started with Moz. Anyways, it's not really for in-depth information. It's for a very, very, very quick look at stuff without diving into it too extensively. Um, I'm just going to run through this really quick just to make sure I kind of cover
yeah.
stuff. Um, so blah, 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 blah. So yeah, basically start with a starting point, so we started with like gaming chairs or something. Um, it's actually gonna be harder for me to follow this than just to
You might
explain.
as well just do it. Yeah.
Yeah. But the
uh,
thing is like it's hard to find like good ones like right on when you're like on the spot like that to find something that makes a lot of sense like straight away. Anyway, so we started with like gaming chairs, right? God, the pictures are too small. Maybe it will be better just to do this.
yeah, just do it. Here, Bernard asked another question.
Hold on. I'm gonna turn on my extensions and stuff. Give me one second, guys. And I need to turn on Mozbar. This doesn't mess up any of my other stuff.
Yeah, you'll come to find that does happen.
All right, we should be all turned on now. All right, so yeah, so you start with a starting point like gaming chairs right here. Why's my keywords everywhere not showing up?
It does that sometimes. Just refresh or pick a different keyword.
Here we go.
There it is.
All right, so hopefully I'm zoomed in far enough for you to be able to see some of the stuff. But so gaming chairs obviously is a very broad keyword. I can pretty much tell you right away this is going to be a lot harder to rank for than something a little bit more specific, right? And you can see right here the search volume for this keyword. This is being brought in by Keywords Everywhere. Is almost 2 million searches a month, which is very high. So without even really looking at stuff, you already know this is going to be extremely high competition. There's nothing that's 2 million searches a month that is easy.
No way.
It's just, it doesn't happen at this day and age, right? Um, so yeah, you type this in, you get your volume up here. You get some more ideas over here on the side, right? Some related, these are being brought in by Keywords Everywhere, just more keyword ideas. And basically you keep going until you're going to find, you want one that's finds a little bit of a lower search volume. And also when you scroll down, you can see these things brought in by Mozbar right here. You see this one has a DA of 96. So hard competition. Amazon, obviously, not the easiest thing to compete against. Number two, PC Gamer, DA 89.
And
Yeah,
just again, we're not big on metrics, but we do
yeah.
use metrics to comb broadly, right? And then we're deducing after that.
It's just a very quick look, right? So basically, and so what kind of DAs you're looking for on this page are going to kind of depend on basically your project's budget, right? Or just how much time you have
Or
or money to go after a bunch of backlinks. But like when
or
you
how
come
your
in,
site looks in comparison.
yeah, or like
Like,
what the
if
DA
it's
of
a
your
stronger
site is,
site.
right?
Hmm.
We'll give you, but again, DA is not everything. So your DA might be similar, but they might be able to beat you easily, or you might beat them easily. It's just a very quick way to look at stuff. Um, but yeah, so basically, this one's all like basically you got this one at number 3 that's only DA 55, which is pretty cool. That to see this one in here, which shows you that it is possible to get in here with a lower DA site, and it looks like something. Um, so all these other sites, they look like very like general, right? It's like Amazon, PC Gamer, um, Newegg, Walmart. These all of these companies sell like a bunch of different kind of stuff.
Yeah, authority
But
sites.
but this lower one right here, DX Racer, they just do gaming chairs, gaming chair official website, right? It's just them, I think. Yeah, DX Racer number 1 best gaming
Yes,
chair brand.
there's a niche.
So it's possible to get in here with lower DA with just a more focused site or whatever. But yeah, so you basically just keep doing this and keep looking up more and more things and just getting more ideas for basically longer tail keywords with smaller search volumes until you find something that you think you could actually break into. And yeah, then you just go from there. Then you could pull that site up in Ahrefs. You could get keywords that are, related to that one, or you could use Surfer SEO to do the same kind of thing. Yeah, and it just really kind of balloons out the amount of keywords you're going after right there.
Re Remember that when you're starting off, your initial reaction is, I want to get into these money keywords, right? Because I'm trying to turn a profit here. And if you start to think maybe that the longer tail stuff is sort of useless, but it's not, right? You're building a picture in Google that says about. So if you start off with something that gets 30 search volume, but it's related to the ultimate target that you want to go after, that's how you kind of pyramid and build up from, a strong foundation in order to attack the SERPs later on. Don't dismiss easy competition in a 30 search volume target keyword because it can help serve as the initial trust flow that's going to go to your asset. So yeah, worth considering. And then, like Chris was saying, there's several tools, right? If we really think about all the tools we use, the toolkit for keyword research that we use, Ahrefs, Keywords Everywhere, Mozbar or Ahrefs bar, or something similar that you like to use. SEO Surfer, also a great tool. And then, of course, your own brain using search operators to deduce things that down even further, or an ability to, look at a competitor site like Chris was saying and get even ideas out of that. So, exploration is going to be key, but that list of tools, I think, is very important to have in your toolkit.
Yeah, guys. So obviously this article is going to go a lot more in depth than what we had just mentioned. So definitely check that out if you have more questions about that. I think he's got a follow-up. He says, gotta get this in here. Chris, that is what I do, but I guess I was wanting to find which would be the best keywords to use. So yeah, again, that's a very big question, and what keywords to use is going to depend on the niche you're in and basically your budget, right? Super broad stuff with very high search volumes is going to be off limits to a lot of people unless you have a very high budget. These much smaller search volume keywords that still have maybe some kind of like buyer intent would be the things that you're going to want to go after, right? Um, yeah.
Another thing,
Hope I'm answering your question, right?
it, it's a bit simplified, I think, at which would be the best keywords to use. Well, in any industry, the best keywords to use are going to be the ones that are well researched by the people attacking those targets, right? So just like anything else, this is sort of like hunting, diamonds or gems or something. Like there's a lot of digging involved, a lot of research involved. And in, that exploration is where you find these gems that then allow you to go after targets that are worth money in the SERPs. It's not as simple as how it used to be, where you could read, a list of 10,000 keywords that were just data that you could grab using bots, and sort through that and get easy access to targets. Now, the landscape has gotten far more competitive. So, you could consider that keyword research, and we always say this, is probably the most important paradigm to focus on within SEO, because if you start there, you're getting a very good foundation by which to grow off of, backlinks, content, etc. It's not going to be as effective if your foundation is off. And so, which ones are the best ones to use? It, like Chris said, it depends on your industry, but then also, in the research that you're willing to put into going after those specific targets.
Yeah, just to kind of add a little bit more, keywords with buyer intent are always good. For example, best gaming chairs. Of course, that's
Yeah.
going to be an ultra high competition one as well, but depending on your niche, best whatever might not be super high competition. Um,
Yeah, or it looks like his next thing he says, I've got a site with no links, so I was just looking at DA or wondering what DA to look at, and that's where I came up with the idea of going after 30 DR. But yeah, if you've got a site with no links, then I've got to take into question how your content's structured, etc. Um,
yeah, so if you have a site with no links, then
hypothetical
basically the DA or the DR of your site is going to be zero, right?
Right,
Which means that
or low based on the content.
yeah, I mean, for, for the most part, I mean, it's pretty much going to be at zero. You might have some links that you didn't really know about that you just picked up naturally as well. So, but you're just going to assume it's pretty low, right? Um, so basically, what you're going to have to look at doing is you need to look at the DA or the DRs of the sites that you're trying to compete against, um, and you're going to have to basically make the value judge a judge meaningful way. If the answer is yes, then that's a keyword that you can go for. If the answer is no, then you need to keep looking for lower DAs and lower DRs. Hopefully, there's no magic number with DA or DR. Just because a site has DA or DR 80 does not mean you can't outrank them. You just have to have the budget for it. The project has to be funded in a way that can get past that. But yeah,
Well, budget and know-how, right?
budget and know-how, yeah. But anyway, I mean,
Yeah.
or generally people can find the help if they don't know how to do it themselves. They can hire, outsource whatever they need to do.
But you think that, do you honestly think, like, picture if, you're somebody that's not in the industry, right? Do you think it's easy to find a good SEO that within like a short time frame could get you ranked for certain
Short time frame,
terms?
probably not.
I just feel like most people that offer like a smaller business that's like looking to get into SEO is usually um, I feel like it's actually hard to find quality SEOs
Oh, for
that are going
sure.
to help you with your
For
budget,
sure. I mean, the
I
industry is
feel
kind of
like
plagued by bullshit, to
yeah,
be
yeah.
fair.
Yeah, which is why I think, it's really important. Like, even if you want to get in on this, inspect what you expect, so be able to have an idea of like, what SEO is, the amount of work and time that goes into it. Because a lot of these businesses or SEO businesses are going to tell you, content heavy, but they don't even know what surfer SEO is, or, how the algorithm works in the slightest. Which, in order to be a successful SEO, you have to be able to prod at variables that do show help, getting up in the SERPs. And I think a lot of people are just basing it off what they read on, SE Roundtable or something like that. Not
I
SEO
was about to
Roundtable,
say
which is us.
SEO
Yeah,
Roundtable,
yeah,
far superior than SE
yeah.
Roundtable. Um, yeah, hopefully, I feel like Bernard, you came in here. We're glad to have you in the group, of course. These are just some very big questions. So I hopefully we at least kind of pointed you in the right direction, but also don't stop asking questions, right? If you ever have any questions, you don't have to ask them just on live stream. You can ask the group whenever you have something else you want to ask about. But yeah, I feel like you're just now kind of getting the fuel for stuff. So there's a big learning process involved. And I don't want to scare you off. Like SEO is actually incredibly simple once you kind of wrap your
Once you
head
get the
around all the
recipe.
moving parts. um,
Yeah.
Most people just,
Yeah, it's like working on an
a lot
engine,
of people
right?
just never
You
get to
know.
that stage because there's so much, I guess just you could say instability. Algo updates are always changing everything, and there's a ton of iffy information out there. People are basically just trying to sell courses or whatever. But
And it's not something you can learn and then let off the gas on and you just know it forever. You have to care about it and you have to stay on top of what's going on in the world of SEO, what's working, what shifted, etc. So, it's a full-time job. Having said that, we know a lot of people that run their own businesses that, started off kind of dabbling and now they run their own SEO campaigns. And if you can conceptualize the business owner and then controlling the SERPs for whatever product or metro you're going after, you've dominated your market. I mean, it's well worth putting the time and effort into in order to get there. Now, one thing that I see that you wrote, the last thing that I see you wrote, which is I use mass pages. I'm not sure if that's a plugin or what that is exactly, but anything that's mass generation, anything that's a bot's creating. Sorry, we're reading what it is. Yeah, let's see.
um, mass pages post creator through which user can create pages post easily by simplicity. It sounds like some kind of automated pages and post type thing.
Yeah, I guess it depends on if the content is unique. If content's unique, then you're probably okay to use something like this. I don't like the look of it. Just anything that's auto generated,
Yeah.
I shy away from. Because then whatever that's doing is creating a footprint. The Google crawlers can read and understand that, this is something that there's not a lot of care or effort put into it, to a certain degree, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just pull this up on the screen so other people can see it that are watching. Okay. Whoops. I want to pull that up. Um, Here we go. Yeah, so mass pages post creator through which user can create pages of posts easily by simplest interface, blah, blah, blah. Create hundreds of pages of posts with a single click. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say,
No.
this stuff is obviously very enticing to someone because you're taking on this new project. It's a ton of work. It's a lot of work, and you don't have content. You probably don't. Sorry, have like content teams set up. You don't have an SEO doing your keyword research and setting up the on page for every page you're doing. You don't have link building teams established to then go and basically do press for all of this new content you're releasing. So yeah, it's a daunting task, but I would 100% advise staying away from anything that's like super automated, which basically a plugin like this, which is going and creating tons of stuff. Um, I mean, they can work. I think if you then have like someone go back through basically and like tweak everything, like maybe it takes like some of the legwork out of something somewhere along the line, but it's not
Yeah.
something I've ever done um, on a project I was serious about, right?
I'll be honest, when I first started in SEO, I just wanted the quote hacker mentality of getting through the
Quick money,
SERPs
baby.
as
Easy
easily as
money.
possible. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you too, nothing ever
Yeah,
worked.
you end up
I
wasting time,
was
right? Which is also like wasting money.
spinning
So
content, using trash content, automating pages, doing everything I could. And back then, you could use certain types of links like GSA, which was just like ultra spam. And you could use it to some degree where you had success. All that's dead now. Um, and yeah, anything that's automated just should automatically make you cringe. Just think of it as traceable to not being unique, is going to hurt you in the long run.
yeah, just gonna wrap the questions from Bernard up. Definitely go take a look at our blog. We've got a bunch of stuff out there that's super beginner friendly. Like for example, like our on-page SEO article is good for
Hmm.
just the very basics of on-page that you're gonna need to know. Finding low competition keywords, I think would be really great for you. As you said your site has zero backlinks, so you could basically start going and trying to find content that you could put up and then try to rank much easier than just the higher competition stuff. But yeah, we've got a bunch of super beginner friendly stuff on the site for you to check out. And if you ever have a question, just yeah, don't be afraid to ask. We'll try to help you out as much as we can. All right, let's go to MH over here. What do you think about Haro links? Are they worth it? So Haro is help a reporter out. It's actually something I've never really used myself. I've heard really mixed things about them. Um, yeah. Do you have any experience with Haro, Nick?
None. I was going to ask if maybe you could do a little explainer.
Yeah.
As no, I haven't messed with them at
It's
all.
just
I have seen them, the term thrown around. And we're not embarrassed to say when we're not really familiar with something. You can ask us a question, we'll be honest. We've got recipes to success in SEO that we use. There's a million different ways to skin the
so it's
proverbial
basically
cat.
I think basically what it does is it matches like sources with journalists. So basically people who have access to publishing content on websites with people who think they have good information that is worthy of publishing. So I don't have like a ton of experience with this myself, but I think if you are going to be using this, of course, like the better the kind of information you have, the better. Like if you actually have something that's like very like unique and interesting, I think you're going to have a lot better success with this kind of thing rather than if you just have some kind of like general run-of-the-mill crap that no one really cares about, you might be better off with whatever other kind of links you're interested in, edits, guest posts, PBN, whatever. Um, I've also heard, and I don't want to say too much about this because again, I'm not like super in the know, but I've also heard some like pretty like negative stuff about this recently about like basically quality sliding, and it's essentially just like doing guest like it's just normal. I mean, I'm not saying guest posts are bad, of course. Like we pretty much live and die by guest posts and niche edits, right? But I just heard that this is kind of I heard that it used to be something greater than what it is today. Again, you're going to want to do more research than what I'm kind of spitting off right now. Probably won't even include this on our YouTube as an individual YouTube video because yeah, I just don't really have too much I can offer on it. Nick?
No, that's about it. I mean, I wasn't really familiar with them.
How have you not heard of Haro?
No, I've heard of them.
Okay.
I never, I'm kind of
We
like
just do
an
our own
old
thing.
dog that's stuck in my ways. Like,
Yeah.
I see people, they're chatting in a group about, like, hey, what about these new links and blah, blah, blah. And, I got my recipes. If I hear about it further on,
Yeah.
I'll maybe add it to my toolkit. But typically, when there's initial hype about something, I kind of wait to see where it ends up. I've got enough money or enough stuff to put my money into that I know is going to help me with my, recipes to success. So that's
Mhm.
kind of just what I stick to.
Yeah, like Nick said, we kind of come from like our own thing, right? I think I mean, you were definitely more heavier into PBNs than me, but PBNs was kind of the first thing that I got like super interested in SEO about, just the fact that you could do something that was so it's just like
Sorry,
how I was just talking about how, part of the reason why we don't know about everything or every link building tactic is because we kind of come from our own background, right? And I was talking about how PBNs is kind of something I got very interested in the beginning because you have all this power, right? You have all
mm-hmm,
like it's up to you basically. You don't have to, it doesn't
for
matter
sure.
about any reporter, it doesn't matter about doing any outreach. It's just like you're digging around, you're finding some diamonds in the rough that are generating a ton of power, and then you're ranking your stuff with them. So I thought that was really cool. And then, obviously we developed our own outreach teams or just that, the process of doing outreach to obtain links. So it hasn't really been necessary for us to do something like this since we have these other methods of doing links. Not to say that this isn't good. And so yeah, definitely if you're interested in Haro or you're looking to expand the way that you're getting backlinks, then yeah, it could definitely be worth checking out. I just can't really offer too much of a input on it.
Yeah,
Um,
if you end up, whoever asked that question or anybody watching, if you end up trying them out and do like what you see, please, let us know in the group. We're always interested in finding out what anybody else is doing too.
for
And
sure.
especially, if you haven't joined the group SEO Roundtable in Facebook, go ahead and join. Like, we're very active, and it's literally a learning environment. We're not spamming, buy this to succeed in there. It's literally a support group for serious SEOs.
Yeah. And
And
as
don't
it's
forget
a
to like, comment, subscribe.
and as it is a learning environment, we're also learning in there as well. We don't know or claim to know everything about SEO. We know what we've learned and what we've kind of come to specialize in, which is
Hmm.
link building and our own tactics that we basically use to create our own affiliate sites, local sites, whatever. Do our own methods of keyword research, stuff like that. We've found methods that work, and we just repeat that rather than I'm not going to say we don't like stop like researching or stop learning or stop trying to find new tactics and stuff, but definitely it's gonna, once you find something and you start making money with it, it definitely prevents you from the super like learning process where you're just really taking in all this new stuff and constantly trying to find new ways of doing things rather than basically more so just focusing on actually making money with it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can consider like the first 2 years that I was involved in SEO, I tried every product out. I did everything I possibly could to see what 90% of that stuff ended up being, a waste of money. But well, I'll say waste of money, but it's not a waste of money, right? You get an education on a valuable toolkit that's going to help you succeed. What I wish I had back then that I think we're helping with now is people I could trust to teach me the right ways, to move forward in SEO. That wasn't just about shilling a product or something like that. But yeah, I guess I met enough people to get to where we are now. So
Maybe we
that's
should
nice.
start trying out more stuff, and then we could do like
Reviews or something.
review content.
Yeah, at this point, I would be okay with giving an honest review about anything we try. Might make some people mad, but it is what it is. You've got a lot of people out there shilling, you know, SEO toolkits that used to work maybe like 5+ years ago that they just leave up and running. Nothing ever changes. They take in, a little bit of money here and there, and it's not going to add value or help anybody.
Yeah, for sure. I
So
mean,
yeah,
there's definitely
it's
more
just
effort in the space that's focused on making money, like extracting money from the space than actually passing on information. I think you can probably say that
hmm
about literally
anything.
any
Yeah.
uh, niche or any industry, right?
hmm
Just gotta learn to filter it a little bit. All right, let's go ahead.
Hey,
Definitely got
Bernard,
some.
if you wouldn't mind, just send us a PM or something. I'd like to know, or I guess you could just write it in here. I'd like to know where you found us. I think you're new to the group, right?
All right. 301 redirects not working today. I have a 4-year-old PBN website and rank for a lot of keywords. After pointing this domain to my money website and wait 4 to 5 months, then have negative ranking. I mean,
Yeah.
the
301s are wonky.
but also it's so hard to tell from this if it was actually the 301 that caused that, right? Like, did
Right.
you do the
So
301 and then do nothing for 4 to 5 months? I mean, that in itself, doing nothing for 4 to 5 months might cause a loss in ranking, right?
yeah.
Um,
Also, I mean, I have a 4-year-old PBN website that was ranking for a lot of keywords. So then I took a PBN. So then you took the fake website that happened ranking for some terms, and you 301'd it and waited 4 to 5 months and got negative ranking. So automatically you went, and not to say that a PBN can't resonate as a real website to some extent in the SERPs and therefore have trust in Google's eyes. Um, yeah, but if it's like a PBN with spun content and stuff, it might have not been as quality a 301 as you would have thought. But then, like Chris said, if you took that, already kind of nefarious website and 301'd it to a new domain, yeah, we'd have to know a lot about this new money site before being able to tell you whether that's what went wrong because, there's a lot of variables
and also like, four
that,
to
yeah.
five months, 4 to 5 months, I mean, that's a big like okay, so when you 301 something, Nick, what would you
hmm
say is like average wait time to see some kind of results, either positive or
Yeah,
nothing or negative?
so I talked about this when I talked about my last my big project that I still currently have going on, where I use two 301s in there. I'm ongoing with my link building campaigns, with my content building campaigns. So every month, just because I add a 301 doesn't mean I let up off the gas on everything else. We're building a picture, right?
Two
A
301s
301's,
overall.
yeah, to an already aged
Just making sure
domain
they
with
don't think you're
500
adding
plus
a
referrals.
new 301 every single month.
No, 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 no,
Okay.
no, 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 total. And I've been working on this project a year.
Yeah.
But the idea is you're painting a picture. So what is a 301? It is one website taking over another one, right? And so conceptualize it like this. It's one business buying out another business. typically what comes along with that? Some press, some movement. One business takes over the other business, content starts to explode because it's a live business, right? A lot of people think they can just buy a 301, send it over, let their foot off the gas, do nothing, and then 5 months later it's going to be boom, through the roof. That was how it worked 5 years ago, which is exactly why it doesn't work that way now. In order to get a 301 to resonate properly, you're going to want to make sure that all the variables are acting how they naturally would. So, when I say this, talking about that big project, I didn't make nearly any money. I started with a age domain, very expensive, 500 referring domains, very niche down. Immediately did a 301, I think within 2 months. Age domain, another expensive one. But my link building and content building campaign, 10,000 plus words up to 20,000 words per month, going into targeted keyword research, backlinking campaigns that started off with extreme pillow linking, very natural anchor text profile, etc. I didn't get any real movement for probably the first like 4 months, 3, 4 months before it really started resonating in the SERPs. And even then, we're not talking about money keywords. It probably took 6 months or so before, the site had enough trust and authority to start going after terms that were really valuable. And now a year later, the site has something like 45,000 monthly traffic, very targeted. But what you'll come to find is there's this slope that kind of slowly starts taking off where Google is feeling your site out, right? Do things look natural? Does it exist over time? Is this a project that's cared about, that's growing to what seems to be naturally? And in turn, once you get that access, that trust flow, boom, you're going to start shooting up as an authority website. And so hypothetical, I know I went off the rails there per usual, but don't expect that you're going to feel the resonance of a 301 immediately unless, and here's one example where I would think you'll probably do okay and move a little faster. If that website that you're using as a 301 was recently dropped, so here you talk about that PBN actually had some rankings. Well, if you took that, then rebuilt the same URL structures, so backslash, for whatever was ranking onto the new website, you'll increase your odds of being able to get that site to resonate a little quicker using the power of the 301. And so
Here,
there are a bunch
let
of
me throw up
tricks.
this because here's a second part
Yeah,
of the
sorry.
question. I think it was the kind of the same thing. So it's about the change in. Actually, this is kind of a different question.
Yeah, hold that thought.
Okay, yeah, sorry. We'll go
No,
back.
you're good. Um,
Sorry, go ahead. What you were saying, some
what
tricks to just increase your
Yeah,
chances of it
so
working.
there's tricks that you can use to increase those chances. So like if you bought a 301 or an age domain that had a bunch of inner pages that were very valuable in the form of ranking content, or maybe it's just got a link profile where it got a lot of press, and it used to rank for something. Rebuild those pages out, put new further developed content on there. If you use something like Surfer SEO or something like that, you'll come to find that rebuilding the old website onto the new site is going to be very beneficial, or at least 301ing those old pages to new pages, right? So that
Or that
everything
are it's
kind of
kind of
flows.
related.
Right. And now, hypothetical, let's say you've got old pages that don't really fit the mold. Maybe it was a very powerful old domain, but the inner pages, like it wasn't a website owned by an SEO. So you've got these weird inner pages, long tail, all random. A lot of times, if I find those, I'll either 301 them to something that's fairly relevant based on the link profile or anchor text profile. Or if I can't really find a use, I'm going to design a hub page around what it used to be. And then I'm just going to really like abuse that hub page in the form of using interlinking. And so what that's going to do is pass link juice from the historical data to these pages that I'm actually funneling to. And using as hub pages, I've found has been extremely useful. And that's a trick that I think, gosh, I can't remember the first time I really saw someone using that to extreme success. But it might have been Joseph, actually, who, he's in here a lot.
Yeah, so just to kind of summarize, yeah, 301s still work. Um, they can be kind of hit or miss. They can take some time. What's the quickest you ever seen a 301 kick in? Like really kick in?
Almost immediately,
Yeah, like
but
a couple days.
yeah, the main
Um,
times I remember seeing stuff like that was years ago,
yeah, maybe, I don't, you definitely mess with more 301s than I do. But yeah, I feel like maybe it's gotten a little bit more hit or miss
I
recently,
think so.
or
I
the
mean,
past couple of years.
honestly, I treat 301s a lot like I treat my backlinking campaigns. I'm setting them and then I'm moving forward with my business.
Gotcha.
I don't keep going back, going, is it working? Is it not working? I have complete confidence that I found a 301 or a domain that was going to add value to my campaign based on backlinks, historical data, and through the ability to comb all that data and make sense of it, I can determine whether something's going to add value. Sometimes I've got to be more patient than others with projects. But at this point in time, I do know that my recipes are going to get me to a point of success. And that sometimes, the patience is key. But it's very hard to conceptualize getting through that when you're a new SEO spending thousands of dollars a month, or just high budget a month on a campaign that you're very uneasy with, because I've done it. I've given up or thought I was close to giving up multiple times on the road to finding recipes that would work in SEO. So yeah, patience is key to some of this stuff. But the knowledge of knowing that what you picked was the right pick is even more important because it'll give you confidence in your project.
So yeah, they still work. There's a little bit more hit or miss. They can take more time than they used to take. Some tips, just quick summary, quick tips to maybe up your chances of things working out. Um, you know, through rebuilding what the original like URLs on the other site were, and then redirecting individual URLs to them. Correct, Nick? And
Hmm.
then also, you could also do some fancy interlinking and then basically interlink those new pages you've made to like hub pages to make them super powerful. Correct.
Hmm.
And then, of course, through your wanting a domain that's as close to your niche as possible. But I've still seen it work with like very general or even like off niche stuff. I would just say to increase your chances, of course, being niche down is always better than not being niche down.
Agreed.
Any
Yeah.
any other quick tips?
No, I think that's about it. Yeah.
Cool. Um,
I think I've got to cut the feed maybe slightly short. I don't know if we've got a short question, but I got to get set up for this thing I'm about to do.
all right, one second.
Talking about NFTs, pre-sale, colonists, colony online.
Well, we'll go ahead and answer
Smash that
this.
like button if
We'll
you're
go
into
ahead and answer
NFTs.
this last one by Bernard because it's a pretty short one.
Okay.
Actually, we'll answer two real quick. We'll do two quick ones. We're talking like a minute or two each. I'm looking for niches that are easy to rank in. Will I have to just search manually through the SERPs, or is there a tool out there? Does Ahrefs have this capability? Uh, as far as niche research goes, this is one of the things I always struggle with. Um, for me, it's always just kind of this long, bumbling process of me looking around at random stuff and eventually stumbling into something. I don't really have an automated process for this. Uh, what do you do for niche research, Nick? Do you have anything um, special that you do?
So, um, it's I guess it depends, right? Am I somebody that already understand, like, am I a business owner and I'm in a specific niche and then I'm looking for ways to break into something that I'm already doing? Or am I looking to just build an affiliate site that's kind of general and I'm looking for niches that are open? Um, you get there by doing keyword research. I would say it's easier to niche things down. Um, um, if you if you if you go too broad, it's going to be harder this day and age to gain trust in Google's eyes. Yeah, it really just starts with good keyword research. You're manually combing through the SERPs. However, you can, like Chris said earlier in the feed, that you think are gaining a lot of traffic and kind of explore what it is they're doing. And then sometimes you can find niches through that. Another popular thing, I guess, would be, if you see something that's just starting to explode, or if you read about something that you think might explode in the future, you can be the first one into those SERPs as well, right? So then you're already kind of getting in something ahead of its time, which I know a good amount of people do that as well.
I have this article
But
pulled
yeah,
up that we did a while back.
exploration.
I think it talked about it down here a little bit. Researching common trends. So you can use like Google Trends. There's some other tools to kind of try to stay on top of like new stuff that's happening if you're looking for an emerging niche or whatever. But this doesn't really. This article, well, I think it's definitely a good read, but it doesn't exactly tell you like this is exactly how to find a good niche, right? There's just so much you have to take in, and finding the niche itself is like the so basically, once people find out about a niche and they find out it's profitable, people are going to jump on it. Everyone and their mom is going to jump on it and they're going to start trying to make money out of it, right?
Yep.
So, finding a good niche is like one of the hardest and one of the most like secretive thing that SEOs or people that make money online actually do, right? And it's something they kind of like guard very preciously. When they find a niche, they don't want anyone to know about it because they don't want any more competition than they already have. But
Right.
you can definitely go ahead and give this article a read and kind of get you on track. But yeah, I do not have like a set process. But this article kind of like talks about it, just some kind of ways that you start kind of like stumbling into ideas. It's kind of just a meandering process that I do. And then, you're eventually going to have to like start doing some stuff. You have to realize like the limitations, basically the budget of your project. You're going to need to do some keyword research. This is all part of niche research. You can't do niche research without keyword research. It's all going to come down to the search volume, the competition, what you're able to do, what you're not able to do. Um, yeah, just a bunch of stuff like that. So yeah, again, kind of a broad answer. I think the article definitely kind of get you on the right track. But short answer, there is no easy way to find good niches. It's one of the hardest things to do. If finding good new niches was easy, then I mean, we know how to rank anything, right? So if finding new niches was just super easy to do and we could just pop them
We'd
out
be
like one after
everywhere.
the other, like boom, 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 boom. I mean, I definitely wouldn't be here. I definitely wouldn't be making
Yeah,
these
right.
videos. I'd have
Right.
a lot more profitable things to do. Um, but not to say that, it's impossible. It's just it's difficult. It takes time. It's a process for sure.
Right.
Um, let's see. Da, 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 da. We had one last one we'll do real quick. Sorry, Nick.
It's fine. I mean, it's already started, so I'm doing this stuff here. I apologize. 100% attention. I have to get through this very quickly. Um, but I'm listening. I'll
Okay, so
partake.
last question. Have read people say Google penalized PMDs, which is partial match domains, in some update back then, and I saw someone with a PMD site lose 80% of traffic after a Google update. So basically, their broader question was, do EMDs and PMDs still work, or do they just get penalized by Google? Something like that. So
I
yeah,
like them.
EMDs, exact match domains, where your domain name, for example, would be houstonplumbers.com. It's an
Mm-hmm.
exact match keyword in your domain. A PMD would just be one of the keywords in the domain or part of the keyword string in your domain. So for example, bobsplumbing.com. It's got plumbing in the domain, so that's a partial match domain. We actually did a case study not too long ago with It's an
Yeah,
EMD
Chris
or
did the case study.
PMD? I can't even remember. I think it was an EMD. God, it's been
In
a
order to
while.
make this $90 purchase, they're asking for $39,000 in Ethereum gas fees.
Hold on,
Sorry, I
Nick.
know that's
We're
random.
almost done with the SEO
Wow.
stuff. Yeah, I've got this case study right here
Insane.
on our site that where we took an EMD, I believe. God, it's so stupid. Yeah, it's an EMD, which is a exact match domain, full keyword in the domain. Um, but yeah, and we ranked the site like straight to number one in like 4 months. But yeah, just to EMDs and PMDs are still absolutely working very, very well. And
Yeah, we love them.
yeah, and one way you can check that, and I guess I can just do that real quick right here, is Nick, give me a keyword, or give me like a
Um,
yeah, give me.
Popular NFTs.
I feel like I don't know if that's gonna be.
Maybe not. Okay.
We'll look it up. Popular
What is
NFT.
cryptocurrency?
Unless someone's already got sites on this, right? I feel
Oh, they do.
like this is like too new. This wasn't a good one. All
All
right.
right. What is cryptocurrency, I guess?
What is cryptocurrency? All right, so now we're looking for basically these aren't really good ones either, man. I mean,
Sorry. Okay.
these are all
Best
like
dog toys.
I'm gonna do the one I did yesterday. So Plumber Houston,
Okay.
right? So then we go down and we start looking at the websites that are ranking. Abacus Plumbing, Nick's Plumbing, Roto-Rooter,
No.
Village Plumbing, Texas Quality Plumbing, John Moore. So this one doesn't have it at all. ARS, any. So I'd say about like almost like half the, basically half of the results on page one for, a big local term in Houston is our PMDs, right? And you can do this with a lot of stuff. So let's try to think of another one that wouldn't be like dominated by massive sites.
I
So for
mean, what
example,
about like? Go ahead. Sorry.
we'll just say dog tips. I don't know. I don't know
Always
what to
look
say.
at links, right? I
So
feel like
policies. So we got puppy leaks, dog time, um, BuzzFeed, ASPCA, dog breed info, Hills Pet. So they all have some kind of like keyword in the domain, right? And basically, if you don't know already, the one of the big advantages of using EMDs and PMDs is that your anchor text that you're going to be using, you can just use your branded term, the name of your company, which would, for example, be dogbreedinfo.com. And so you're basically getting the keywords dog breed info in every single branded anchor that you use. And so you're getting all this relevance for dogs or more keyword relevance without the danger of becoming over optimized, right? Because it's actually the name of your brand. And so Google can't hurt you for people linking to your website with the name of your brand, right? It's like the most natural way for anybody to link to you, besides maybe like a URL anchor or like click here or something. It's a very natural anchor,
mm-hmm.
so you can really take advantage of it to get more keywords in that you normally wouldn't be able to get in because it'd be over optimized. But yeah, if you don't believe me, just go ahead and search around. I think what you'll find is that on the majority of SERPs, uh, you know, uh, you see a very healthy amount of page one spots taken up by either EMDs or PMDs. I don't, it's a trick that's been around for a long time. I don't see it really going anywhere soon. Like, how does Google, it would take a Google basically having to say that branded anchor text is now either bad or
Yeah.
or they will not count branded anchor text as much as they do, which actually over time I think we've seen branded anchors become more important or like more
Mm-hmm.
they do more good work for your rankings. um,
I'll be honest. I exclusively almost, if I um use PMD.
yeah, 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 I don't really do go with EMDs too much. The site I showed you guys in the case study is actually a client site we were building links for. Yeah, EMDs can be good. Depends, what your long-term goals with it are. But PMDs in general, they just have a little bit of a broader scope, right? You can just do more with them over time if you feel like it. Um, yeah, but both are still extremely powerful. I don't really see them going anywhere soon. Anything else to add, Nick?
I think that's it,
All right,
really.
guys. Yeah, thanks for
Yeah, no,
showing up.
PMDs are solid.
Nick's got to go. I don't know.
I'm already doing it. Everybody's losing their minds right now. Gas fees on Ethereum are ridiculous. Smash that like button if you know what I'm talking about and you agree.
Nice.
But yeah, make sure to join our group, SEO Roundtable. We're very active in there. And then, yeah, help support the cause by subscribing and liking. And if you think Chris is a pretty boy, go ahead and like it right now.
Oh yeah, Bernard, I also wanted to ask you what YouTube channel you heard mention us on. Always interested to know who's shouting us out. Maybe we can shout them out.
Oh.
If it's someone that we are familiar with. But yeah, thanks for showing up, guys, and we will see you next week, same time, same place. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and yeah, see you next time.